Are you too hot? Beat the summer heat with a window AC unit from Davis Appliance and Furniture for as low as $299. We offer a cool, no credit needed financing options to meet your needs. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Did you know?
Welcome to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. We offer new and used appliances, and we service what we sell. We offer no credit needed financing and delivery options to meet your needs. For the top brands at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
In less than a month, Richmond County voters will decide whether or not to enact a half-penny sales tax to help fund a new James Brown arena. Now, this could attract more shows and could possibly mean bringing back minor league hockey.
And we've broken down what could happen if the sales tax called C-Splost goes through.
But our Craig Allison explains what could happen if voters decide C-Splost isn't the right way to go.
What do Lionel Richie, Carrie Underwood, and the Dave Matthews Band all have in common? Well, the Coliseum Authority says they're all groups that have had to pass on Augusta because they're too big for the James Brown Arena. And I mean that literally. Their equipment is simply too heavy for this facility. And the Coliseum Authority says if the C-Splost vote isn't passed in this November's election, Augusta won't be able to bring those kinds of bigger acts to the Garden City. On top of being considered obsolete, Vice Chairman Brad Ushery says the late 70s arena continues to lose money just to hold up the cracks in the foundation, to include air issues and water leaks. Voting no on the sales tax now might erase the chance for a new stadium in the near future or even altogether.
All these things, add up that, we're at the end of the life of the current arena. And, if we wait a year or 2 years or 3 years, 4 years, this building gets more and more expensive just with inflation alone. So you're talking about $250 million in today's dollars, and next year this building's probably $265 million.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We're going to hear some more from the Augusta-Richmond County Coliseum Authority on what the true gravity of voting no on a half penny on every dollar would truly mean for the future of the Garden City's entertainment district. In Augusta, Craig Allison on your side.
Well, talking all things weather now, it is definitely noticeably cool outside. We're talking about temperatures anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees below where they should be for this time of year. So it's definitely a cooler feel outside. We're looking at current temperatures area-wide right now in those low 60s and also upper 50s as well. So again, it's a pretty cool feel this evening. And if you have any outdoor plans, a long sleeve shirt, maybe even a light jacket will be a pretty good idea. As far as winds across the area, we're looking at those in between about 5 to 12 miles per hour sustained. At times we have seen gusts approaching and getting over 20 miles per hour. You can see Macon, Atlanta right now currently seeing those gusts over 20 miles per hour. A live look from Grovetown currently, though, we are looking pretty good in terms of just traffic, but sky conditions not so much. It's been a pretty overcast and gloomy day for us. Haven't seen much rainfall, but there is some off to our north trying to make its way down towards the CSRA, but a lot of that really hasn't had success. We've seen a batch of maybe some sprinkles to misty conditions moving through McCormick County, now passing through Aiken County, but a lot of this likely not even making it towards the surface, as we do have some pretty dry air down here right now. But as far as the fair forecast, it's going to be some cooler starts for each afternoon in between now and Wednesday when that fair kicks off around 5 p.m. We'll talk about that in the forecast going into the weekend coming up, but let's take a look at some traffic.
And now, First Alert Traffic.
Well, first taking a look at Bobby Jones Expressway and our version of the Spaghetti Junction here in Augusta. A nice flow of traffic from the expressway here and also Interstate 20 just crossing underneath that. As we look towards Grovetown, once again, you can see a nice flow of traffic here along Lewiston Road, I-20. A little bit of a backup possibly starting off on that exit 190 off ramp, but pretty typical for this time of day in that area. And also outside of our studios, Riverwatch Parkway and Interstate 20, traffic flowing nice and smooth. We'll talk about the forecast in more detail coming up.
Thanks, Mikkel. North Charleston police officers being honored for saving a 2-year-old's life after she fell out of a moving vehicle. Earlier this month, Private First Class Jason Marzan arrived on scene before first responders to find the toddler laying in the roadway. Now, Marzan says the toddler's right arm had been severed above the elbow, and he quickly applied a tourniquet to control the bleeding.
The surgeon told me that they reattached the arm and that everything is going great. It was better yet. It's a miracle that they can do that.
He says this is one of the best things about wearing the badge and is thankful that the child survived. There is no word about how the toddler fell out of the vehicle, and South Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating.
2 young children are now safe after authorities say they were abducted from a Burger King in Columbus, Georgia. You may have gotten an Amber Alert yesterday. Police believe the girls were in extreme danger after their abduction yesterday morning. The suspects in their kidnapping has been identified as the mother of the children and a friend of the mother. Police say the 11-year-old and 4-year-old girls were found safe in Georgia around 11:30 this morning. That investigation still ongoing tonight.
South Carolina's first in the South Republican primary is just over 4 months away. But another important deadline for candidates is coming up in just 2 weeks, the deadline to file to get their name on the ballot.
Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details from Columbia and who's gotten this done so far.
On Monday, here at Doc's Barbecue in Columbia, Senator Tim Scott became the 4th candidate to file to appear on the ballot for South Carolina's February 24th Republican presidential primary. He joins former President Donald Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and businessman Vivek Ramaswamy.
Hello, South Carolina!
After taking care of official business, Scott chatted and posed for photos with supporters. The latest poll from Winthrop University, released earlier this month, indicates Scott still has a lot of ground to make up in his home state, polling in 4th place at a little less than 6% among South Carolina Republican voters. And he has yet to qualify for the next Republican debate in 3 weeks in Miami.
We'll see you in Miami. The harder we work, the luckier we get. I am so excited to be home in South Carolina. We continue to have a positive message. Hope and opportunity goes a long way. We need a candidate who will restore hope, create opportunities, and unite our country. I thank God that I'm that candidate.
Scott's supporters remain optimistic his numbers can turn around.
I think the Lord's going to have to work in mysterious ways, but I think it's very possible.
In a statement in part, South Carolina Democratic Party Chair Crystal Spain says South Carolina voters know Scott is just as extreme and out of touch as the rest of the 2024 GOP field and are fired up to reject him in February. And as part of the filing process, candidates have to fill out paperwork and pay a $50,000 filing fee. The deadline to get this done is coming up on October 31st. Reporting Columbia, I'm Mary Green.
State law requires $20,000 of that filing fee goes to the South Carolina Election Commission. The remaining $30,000 goes to the South Carolina Republican Party.
And over the weekend, independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy made a stop at Augusta as part of his campaign. At the Augusta Marriott, Kennedy outlined his priorities as president. He also addressed his recent shift to independence, saying it will get both Republicans and Democrats to think.
A teenager gets the ride of his life after receiving a double lung transplant. Just ahead, how the medical staff that saved his life continue to inspire him.
Sounds like an amazing story right there. As far as a look outside from Grovetown, still pretty gloomy out there. Those temperatures in the low 60s, upper 50s for some spot. We'll talk about some cooler starts ahead in the full forecast next.
Time and Temp, brought to you by Jamie Casino Injury Lawyers.
I'm attorney Jamie Casino. If you're injured in a wreck, our team has scored record results in the courtroom, and our Google rating is excellent. Injured in a wreck? Call me right now.
Are you ready to recline?
Army and Golden Harvest Food Bank. Register online at AugustaMetroChamber.com.
Well, welcome back to Live at 5. We are taking a look at Clarks Hill Lake right here from our Thurman Dam cam. Still can see a good bit of cloud cover out there, and that is the case also across the CSRA in general. You can see satellite and radar here. Just picking up on some really tiny showers moving through the upstate of South Carolina right now and also extreme northeastern Georgia. They're trying to make their way down towards our area, but I don't think they'll have a lot of success. We have a lot of dry air at the surface. I won't rule out an isolated sprinkle in between now and about 8, 9 p.m., but as we draw closer to midnight, these rainfall chances really should begin to dwindle. And we're looking at just some misty conditions possibly moving through some of our northern and eastern counties. But again, a lot of that probably not making it towards the surface with some really dry air down here with us. As far as current temperatures, they are definitely starting to fall off. We're looking at 55 here in Edgefield, 59 in Washington, so some 50s already coming into play before 6 p.m. And we're also looking at widespread low 60s elsewhere. So it's a cool feel outside. A long sleeve shirt would be a good idea for any evening plans outdoors. And as far as sustained winds, we're still looking at those in between about 5 5 to 12 miles per hour sustained, so a slight breeze out there as well that may make it feel a tad bit cooler at times. As far as looking ahead for this evening, in between now and about midnight, we are going to see those temperatures falling towards the 50s rather quickly for everyone, and then we'll keep that chance again for an isolated sprinkle through about 8 p.m. tonight. As we draw closer to 10, and especially by midnight, we should begin to clear those skies out and have some pretty good chances to see the stars here the later we go into tonight. But as we continue to look forward towards tomorrow morning, we're talking about low temperatures dipping down towards the 40s area-wide. So it's going to be a chilly start as the kids are headed off to school and you're going off to work or running your morning errands. So definitely have a moderate jacket, I would say, for tomorrow morning with that chillier start. Highs tomorrow afternoon do look to stay pretty much 10 degrees plus below average for the entire region. So it is going to be another cooler day, but slightly warmer than today. And we're also going to see some sunshine out there that'll make it feel a little bit warmer as well. As far as the fair forecast, we're going to keep some clouds around for this evening. It's already kicked off for this evening. It starts at 5 p.m. during the week. As we continue through Tuesday and Wednesday, those starts do get a little bit warmer as we look at those temperatures right around 5 p.m. But they do have a lot of exhibits out there. This is at 561 May Royal Drive, and kids ages 10 and under actually get in free. So if you have a little one, definitely go ahead and get out there and check it out. But this cool air will stick with us as we continue through the middle and end of the week, as we do have another trough that will swing through and bring us a cold front with that by Friday. Rainfall chances do come in by then, and we're looking at those temperatures in the low 70s through the weekend and upper 40s to low 50s for our mornings.
All right, thanks, Mikkel. After months of recovery, a teen who recently received a double lung transplant got the chance to fly along with the medic team that helped save his life.
Caitlin Asbaugh shows us how he took the trip of a lifetime to celebrate making it to 18 years old.
We're here because I get to do a fly along because I flew with Medicare when I was on the ventilator real sick.
Branchville High senior Rock Reiser spent his special day with members of MUSC's Medicare flight team.
I reckon I'll get to fly on the flight and get to remember it.
Reiser's journey started back in November of last year after he was admitted to Prisma Health for post-surgery symptoms. After countless tests and procedures, the family was told a double lung transplant was his best shot at recovery. Reiser was 17 at the time, making it difficult to find an in-state hospital to do the surgery.
Our family is from Bowman. It's about an hour away from here. Rock was 17 at the time, so a minor. They were the only hospital in this state that could do his transplant.
His family decided to airlift Reiser from Columbia to MUSC in Charleston.
We flew out that day. Bob was our pilot, and we had a little bit of window of time to go pick him up.
Demarest was one of the nurses who responded to the original call.
I went and talked to the nurse that was taking care of him. I hadn't gone in the room yet, and I was getting a report, and I hear a voice inside the room say, "Is that Joan?"
She says his mom was a familiar face found in the chaos.
Kina, his mom, said, "Oh my gosh, Joan, it is you." So we had worked together over 20 years ago. Now I was picking up her son in Columbia to take him to Charleston, which just gave me goosebumps just talking about it.
Reiser was diagnosed with ARDS and placed on additional respiratory support to help him breathe. He was placed on the transplant list at the end of December, and his wish came true on January 9th with the help of MUSC and We Are Sharing Hope.
All of those people came together to allow us to have a donor for Rock because it looked pretty grim at the beginning.
The Reiser family says they recently had the chance to speak with the family of the donor, who happened to be a 16-year-old boy.
They said that their son lives through him every day. Every breath he takes, that their son is still living on. So it's really special to speak with them.
The Reiser family says Rock's memory of what happened is still fuzzy, but the fly-along is an experience he'll never forget. Reiser was included in the morning briefing, a tour of the helipad, and a 20-minute flight over downtown Charleston.
Now, the Reiser family says they are forever grateful to the organ donor who gave their child another chance at life. We're back in a bit.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
It's Ram Power Days in Waynesboro.
New Dodge Charger SXTs, 0 down, just $575 a month.
Take the short drive on Highway 25 to save time and money.
Shop goodtogowaynesboro.com.
Big city selection with hometown prices.
Only in Waynesboro, where every pre-owned vehicle is backed by J.D. Power's Platinum Warranty. Late model Hyundai Tucson, now $340 a month.
Good to go, Waynesboro.com.
Well, junk feed fees turn up on everything from concert tickets, credit cards, airline tickets, loans, and yes, even your residential rental. It's those extra fees you don't understand, like handling fees, application fees, and convenience fees, and a lot more.
And they all add up. According to the White House, Americans are collectively spending nearly $65 billion a year on these hidden fees. Dawn G joins us to help you make ends meet and make sure you know the truth about what fees you're obligated to pay when it comes to your rent.
You're beginning to see these junk fees a lot more for a lot more. The Biden-Harris administration announced this year a new front to crack down on junk fees in rental housing. When it comes to home sweet home, you certainly don't need or don't want to pay more than you have to.
Junk fees are fees that are usually surprising, usually unexpected, usually unwelcome by those who have to pay them.
Jonas Wrdw is the CEO of Dwellsy, a site for residential home rentals, and subject matter expert to the White House on rentals and junk fees, as they prepared a blueprint for a renter Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is not a legal document. It is only intended to be used to support the development of policies and practices.
The landlords are always looking for an edge to get a little bit of extra profit out of their properties. And as a result of that, they are looking at creative ideas for new fees.
It may be hard to sympathize with your landlord, but many of them are just trying to make ends meet as well. To prevent the shock of unwanted fees, the first thing you need to do is read the lease. Every page and every word.
This is a thing that every renter needs to do, and so few of us do. Just read the lease. And the lease is awful to read.
President Biden is calling on federal agencies, Congress, and private companies to provide honest, transparent pricing to Americans while working to get rid of junk fees for good. If understanding your lease and all the fees seems overwhelming, ask the leasing office for help.
Can you walk me through the lease, please?
If you know the lease, then you know what they can and cannot charge you for.
Frankly, any fee that you're being charged that is not in the lease, you don't have to pay.
From a consumer advice standpoint, it would be advisable for people to pay close attention to the rental agreement before signing. Your signature is your agreement.
But once you sign the lease, you're on the hook for that.
If you are fighting a fee that you feel is unfair and that fee is not in the lease, turn to the Attorney General's office in the state where you are renting to determine the legality of that fee.
The lease is a binding legal contract between you and your landlord, and so any fee that's not in the lease, you should challenge.
Some of the most common upfront rental fees are for applications, background check, credit check, security deposit, sometimes first and last month's rent, and a pet deposit if you have a furry family member. That doesn't count ongoing fees if you get the apartment, like parking, utilities, and pet rent. Don't sign the lease unless you clearly understand your financial responsibility as a renter and you feel confident that you will be able to cover them.
Well, it may only be October, but planning is already underway for the 2024 Masters Tournament. Later this week, there will be a local job expo for the upcoming tournament. This will be Thursday the 19th from 3 to 6 at the Hub for Community Innovation. Mikkel?
Well, temperatures are well below average and will continue to be that way as we head towards the weekend. We'll talk about it and also get an update on the tropics coming up next.
McDouble, McChicken, and small fries. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Welcome back to Live at 5. We are taking a look at the tropics here and talking about just one area that we're watching for potential development. It does have a rather high chance over the next week of turning into our next tropical system. About an 80% chance of that happening. And the general motion for this tropical wave is to travel just north and east of the Lesser Antilles and the Caribbean in general. So we'll keep a close eye on it to see ultimately where it ends up at. But just talking about fall foliage really quickly and giving you guys an update on where we're at. We're definitely heading towards the end of of October, and by the beginning of November, we should begin to see the potential for some color to show up down here in the Augusta area, and also around middle Georgia and middle and low country of South Carolina as well. And then as we head towards the middle to end of November, that's when we really begin to see those peak colors starting to pop up. And definitely by December, a lot of those trees moving past peak in terms of fall foliage. But as far as current temperatures, we are looking at those in the upper 50s and low 60s right now. So it's a cooler feel out there. Definitely will recommend maybe some sleeves if you want to have the potential to get outside for this evening. As far as the grilling forecast, we're looking at mostly.
Watch WRDW News at 5:30 weekdays for What the Tech. Sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School, leading the CSRA in STEM education.
I'm Mike Costello of